Hello YouTube and welcome back to my Katanagatari reaction series, back here again today for some more Katanagatari. As I'm sure everybody here is aware, it is Christmas week. Merry Christmas to all that celebrate and everything else in between. As a result, I've been very busy. So yeah, Katanagatari is very late at this point, which is cool. We like being late. Also, we're foregoing basically a week of content. So starting from Frieren, the movie that I would have done on the weekend, and Katanagatari next week are all being foregone. Starting back up again with Frieren midweek between Christmas and New Year, kind of that 28th, 29th type bag. Yeah, you just got to make sacrifices, unfortunately, at this time of year, and I'm sure everybody's not as focused on rewatching anime as much as the rest of the year, I'm guessing. Or maybe they do need it, I don't know. If you do, I'm sure there's something on the back catalogue you haven't seen yet. So yeah, thanks everybody for their patience and everything else in between. I'm very thankful that I have an understanding fan base, let's say. And speaking of the fan base, let's get up those YouTube comments there. Only the two this week, which, we'll start with ICP's comment here because it kind of explains as such. Kind of unfortunate these videos get so little comments. I'm guessing most people are saving their comments for spicy episodes like episode 4. Yeah, probably. Or spicy episodes like episode 7 maybe, which is this week's, which I'm feeling is going to be spicy, right? Yeah, I don't know how you talk that much about episode 6 in isolation. So much of it to me is now set up for 7 and set up for future stuff that happens in Katanagatari. It's just continuing to show that Shichika has his independence and he's growing in that way, and he's not always going to obey Togami in the way that he would have done earlier in the show. He's starting to think a little bit about his moral code in situations and that kind of thing. And if he approves, and maybe even questioning Togami and her motives, what is she actually going to do? She kind of didn't really answer his question about her killing him at the completion of their task here. And then, of course, I should talk about something. I'll actually get it up now. That's probably the best way to do this. Yeah, this here's probably the best spot to start talking about it. So for the uninitiated, we're inside Konayuki's head. We're going to dive into her well, not her head. It's... Who was the money we called last week? Anyway, it doesn't matter. She's inhabited the body and is now receiving the memories of Konayuki, essentially, right? About what happened at the village. So, lots of blood, not a lot of snow falling. It seems like just a bunch of snapped, logs and stuff, right? Hand out of the snow, right? Presumably dead. And then look at that. And now, okay, in my stupidity last week, I'm like, oh yeah, this is just evidently Konayuki, finding the situation. She's come across her village that have died, right? And now this instantly made everything click. When somebody sent me on Discord, they sent me this image, and I'm like, oh, that's not Konayuki. That's Nanami, right? So she's gone to this village to try and get this sword, killed everybody in her path, right? Been extremely successful in this endeavor, but not gathered the sword for some reason. I don't really know why. Maybe she just lost it in the chaos. Yeah, so she was behind it, and that also answers a lot of the setups last week around, was it really an avalanche? They were at the top of a mountain. And yeah, so now that makes a whole lot of sense. Cool. And speaking of Nanami, and I guess bouncing off Stefune's comment here as well, the last part of the episode said we're going to kill her this week. Okay, whatever you say, show. I'm willing and able to go along with you on that. It seems like spoilers. Why did you tell me that? It has now set up an expectation for this episode that I have, which they're going to fight. Which, the preview showed off. The preview was weird last week too. It had a weird art style, so watch out for that as well. I now have a set of expectations that we're going to win and win well, and this isn't going to be a continued thing. So where's the lingering tension in the narrative? I guess Shichika Togami, interpersonal trust issue stuff, I guess, as well as Princess Haite, and I guess the Maniwa, and maybe finding a few more of the swords and that kind of thing. There's still stuff to do. I guess I saw Nanami as a little bit more final than what we're doing with her. But it's an SUSN. He's gonna subvert expectations. That's what he does. So we're comfortable with that. And I think I shouldn't ramble any longer, otherwise this video's not going to get recorded. So I'm going to hop into episode 7 of Katanagatari, but not without some chill stuff. So if you like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and you want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything I could do to improve my presentation. Comment below. I'm doing follow for follow on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter if you'd like me to follow you back. And the Discord, join Discord, love Discord, Discord. And finally, Discord. So yeah, jumping into episode 7, I believe. Episode 7 of Katanagatari right now. Rightio, I have episode 7 of Katanagatari up there ready to go. 49 minutes and 50 seconds on this one, so please sync up accordingly. Got that picture-in-picture version in the description below for the everybody that wants it. The everybody that... Anyway. And GSK Kun subs, so use those if you wish to follow along at home. And yeah, without any further ado, we're going to give it a 3, 2, 1. Rightio? 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. It's one of those things. It's a spinny doodle. And these things generally indicative of death. I remember from my Monogatari stuff. There was also some small, like, pillars of rocks. Oh. I say. Hello. I think that location is also where we're going to right now. The Buddhist sword temple or something. Hmm. Okay. Ugh. Give me that. Okay. What is that face? Akito Bita. I'm guessing that's one of the swords, maybe? That's new. I don't know about that. What? It's gonna say, look behind you. Okay. Later. Ooh, love that. Yeah, gotcha. Very well edited, that sequence. I liked that. He has. Emotionally. No, not the... Is that going to be a thing? Like the contradiction thing? Like, ooh, I once seemed good and now I'm bad. Let me lampshade that to the audience. Because I think it's funny for the record. Okay, yeah, I guess that opening sequence just kind of like... Yeah, no. I remember last week, the money we were talking, and it's like, oh yeah, she wiped out that place in half an hour. I think that's what we just saw that little vignette of. She slaughtered everybody that was holding that sword. So... Sword, it seemed more like a shuriken thing or something, but I digress. They haven't all been swords anyway. One of them was a set of armor. I wonder how quickly we're going to get into it, because generally Katanagatari will have a little bit of levity at the start of the episode. They'll joke around a little bit and, there'll be a conversation. It'll set up some exposition stuff, but it'll also, like... It's character stuff, it's character building, it's making us feel for the characters. So I'm wondering if we're going to do that this episode as well, or we're just going to jump straight into the Nanami stuff. Don't know. Be interesting if it was all from Nanami's perspective as well. That could be cool. I mean, I've only got 10 more seconds to theorize, really, so, maybe. Ugh. Is that Dad? I think that's Dad, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know about that. Oh yeah, that's that stuff where she like her body refused to let her die, which was metal. Can't even die right. Yep. Time to murder. Cartoonishly easy. I mean, maybe that's what she wanted to say, but I don't know if that's really. Oh, did she get cursed or something? She's just ignoring it. She doesn't even need to ignore it. Just go away, tormenting spirits. Yeah, Akito Bita. So yeah, we're fighting her for that sword, I'm guessing. This seems like the temple. True. I remember Torsa. It's what's this island called? Oh, we're just here by the way. Okay, sure. I'm so bad with islands. I love this guy, Amon Zaimon. we're kind of we're kind of skipping ahead here, huh? Also, that doesn't sound like Togami. But that sounds like Shichiko. That sounds like her. It's called exposition. It's fine. It's catching us up to speed. Mm, emotionally, yeah. I don't know about physically. Shoot to kill. Something's off here. Pretty sure it's character design or something. Mm-hmm. How do you know that name? Have you softened him up? Hmm. I don't know. Yeah, kinda. I've been growing past being just a sword. Hmm. Okay. What are we doing here? Okay, she dodged. You're not going well. What do these eyes do? Okay. True. Migeka. True. I learned that in episode 4. Of course it's true. She hasn't even thrown a punch yet. To get reversed? Oh, of course. That's so true. It most certainly was. Yeah, she's actually just as strong as those people that were inhumanly strong last week. So even stronger. Huh? Gotcha, bitch. Sonotori. Yeah, you weren't even after the sword, right? Because you left the sword. She has no more family. Yeah, why do you concern yourself with that, Shichika? Because they're not weeds. The weed stuff's interesting with the flower motif that family has. Yeah. I taught my sword feelings. But even Togai had her misgivings about it. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of murder. Yeah, but wasn't that the whole thing with the money recall last week? When you fuse everybody's like style over 200 or 2000 years or whatever into one, like it's nothing. We can just beat it easily. And now she's talking about the obvious weakness in the style or the special move. Are you going to tell him about it or are you going to use it? Okay, you've been kind of scary. I get the feeling she's on top here. He's getting pieced up. I'm crushing you like a weed. Oh, I see. Specific. I see. You're showing off still. Okay. But if I catch you using it... Didn't she just fix it? She has strength now. Oh. Okay. I see. I was wondering where the sword was going to come into it, I guess. Okay, you seem pretty unbeatable. I don't know. Akito Pita. Okay. Okay, bye. Any thoughts? Amon Zymon? Oh. Did we just peace out? Like, oh, we're going home. Okay, what? True. It's Torsa. Yeah. Very video gamey. Yeah, very, very video gamey. He was already on the boat, though, right? I remember that. This is like visual novel style is very interesting. Again, I thought you knew that already as well. Yeah, you guys literally talked about that. I'm sure you did last week. Again, this video gamey motif. Look at this boss. Hell yeah. Oh, she's cheating. Mm-hmm. Eh? My sister? Okay. And now we're back to present day? I guess so. That was a really weird way to do that. I'll take it, though. Owari, that's where the princess is, right? I'd almost say this is her theme song. I think I'm recognizing it. I didn't know. She was always sitting down before. I didn't know it was like that. It's true. No. Yeah. Good old penguin or whatever. Okay, ho ho. Yeah. Wasn't Akito Bita that did it? Yeah, it may be dangerous for like everybody that's currently alive. Not really. It's way beyond Sabi Hakuhei. Yeah, I think our hopes actually do probably squarely land with Togame, right? We haven't seen Ho Ho fight really. We only really saw those birds that one time. Mm-hmm. There's Oshidori, whatever the hell, and somebody else. True. Oh, he's so cool. It sounds like her. It does. Alright, so did we just peace out? Come back when you're stronger. She's like red in Pokemon. You meet up on the mountain and it's like, just come back. Eternal sustenance. Alright. How is Shichiga feeling about it? That's not ominous at all. Okay. Had a think yet? Some could say. But also, I mean, she did murder all these people that were presumably worshippers. How you feeling, bud? Not great. Yeah, I mean, you never did beat her before, right? Head up, champ. You'll get there. All right. What are we going to talk about? Nope. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Perhaps too nicely. Apologies for hitting the mic. Present me reason to avoid duel. Can't do it. Ah. I wonder if this episode's director's weird or something. There's something going on. Yeah. Come on. Figure it out. Okay. Isn't that kind of sweet? What depended if she loved me or not? I'm listening. Based. I la la la. He is on a bit of a losing streak, though. You also lost to Konayuki. I remember. Damn. Now she's beating him up too? What? Did she eat shit? Yep, pretty much. Well, I've kind of got no choice. Okay. That's good. We love a good scheme. Yeah, what is going on with the... Yeah. Some weird's going on with this episode. I don't know. I didn't really think about it. Okay. I didn't know that, but sure. It probably messes up the combo somehow. Yep. I'm doing your moves. The one where you stick your ass out. Yeah, don't stick your ass out. I'm watching. I'm watching. She did. She could have murdered you 272 times before you hit the ground. pocket sand? Please be proud of me. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you carried your weight. What did you expect? I mean, anyway, sure. Don't know. Alright, so you can have your, like, evil face? Yeah, a little bit more insight there would be nice, too. Don't let her see her. I was going to say that same thing. I mean, just keep doing it. I don't know. So where did these dudes come from? Oh, wait, I guess she didn't murder everybody. It's also probably who Togame was talking to before. That edit, man. It's weird. It's weird stuff. You're talking a lot of negatives. If he's cheeky again, I'll kill him. Yeah, what about? No, he was too powerful or something, right? It's too dangerous. Okay, more. Oh, okay. But, like, did he do it? Because that changes how I feel about a few things. Hmm. Huh? What are you talking about? Well, there's smoke, there's fire, I'll say that. Yeah, I mean, that's two now. What actually needs to be that one? There you go. You made a better combo. You made a tree fall over. That's normally a good sign. Ugh. Yeah, your scheme. What about pocket sand? Oh, she said it. She's kind of badass this episode. Okay. Or maybe either way is bad. Yeah, somewhere with sand that I can throw at you. Yeah, take it to the arena. Okay. Okay. Are you sure? I also liked that sound effect a lot. For the record. May the record show. Ugh. Oh! Yo, Buddha's sick. Alright. No sand to be seen, which is unfortunate. Candle wax. Oh, what about in the darkness? That could work too. You do it from my cold, dead hands or chest. Mm-hmm. Thoughts? Yeah, that's a little bit more sword-like and a little less human. I guess. He does guess. I guess you didn't like him very much. Oh. But your body didn't let you. Hmm. Yeah, come on. Exchange some sibling love. But not like that. Yeah, the darkness. Oh, okay. Gotcha. That was the request. No, stop. You're telling her what you're about to do. The editing there's really fun. Feels almost like old Hollywood, like a '60s movie. All right. Did we murder her yet? Hmm. I don't trust it. Oh. Okay. I murdered my sister. Yeah, don't throw it. Really? Maybe. I didn't get that winning feeling of murder. Isn't the whole thing about her body being like indestructible or something? Or was that from Akito or whatever? Hmm. It's a test. It's also truly sharpening Shichika. Oh. Togami's dead. Oh, I remember seeing her with short hair. Yeah, like that. I remember seeing that. What about a neck? Does she have a neck? Okay, that's cool. Alright. Now there's a good reason to kill her. Also, I really liked her hair like that, if you remember. Nah, it kind of like cuddled up with it and stuff too. I don't know, you're sweating. Oh, it's the catchphrase. After threatening Togame and cutting the hair. Ooh, yo. This didn't work last time. Don't ask how they're floating in the air. It's not important. I know why she's floating in the air. Maybe she's letting him float in the air. Oto oto. Okay. She's dodging. Any thoughts? Oh, it's just gonna like fall apart. Oh. I mean, that'll do it. Yeah. I don't know, did you? Alright. Murder completed. Yeah. And in that way, it cancelled out her, like, immortality stuff. At least metaphorically. That's fun. Maybe fun's the wrong word. You know what I mean. Also, hairstyle change. Let's go. It's true. That's why she needed you sharpened. Mm-hmm. Isn't that nice? Yeah, do you want to talk about that some more? Interesting line. What, the hair? You made me this way. Yeah, I mean, it's nice and straight. Hmm? Yeah. I thought it was going to go in that direction, but I didn't want to say. Yeah, you're being cute. The both of you. Oh, finally. Oh, we're finally going to Owari. Sure. I know. I'm well aware. Yeah, we're past the halfway point. Very cool. Cool. It's a bit of a weird one, yeah? Oh, this might be Thingo singing too. Anyway, the content of the episode I actually quite like. Maybe fumbling that reveal a little bit of the she just wanted to die type thing. I don't know. Maybe you could again move stuff and make it a little bit more impactful. But sure. Mostly, I just think the production of this episode's really weird. But still, like it's not like a budget thing. I don't think it didn't seem like it was noticeably like less well directed or like didn't have an authorial. It didn't stink of low budget. It stunk of somebody trying some weird shit. Like what was that whole part with like the video game motif for like a solid like 3 or 4 minutes there? A lot of like like character straight on looking at the camera. The lines I think being a little bit thicker. A little bit. Maybe it is budget stuff. I don't know. I'm sure everyone will let me know. But I think they got away with the budget if it was. Because I still liked it. I think it was pretty good. Just strange. Weirded me out. Okay, thoughts? Oh, I could use some watermelon. Okay. Any sleep? Oh, Turtle Man. The mechanical doll? Yo. There's a lot of weird shit going on in this show, huh? Yeah, no, you were wrong. But right, but wrong. Anyway. Weird. Weird episode. And yeah, moving on to a little bit of a relook on episode 7. Yeah, it continues to be 7. I don't know why I'm never sure. And we're back. It's the next day, which wasn't the plan, but shit happens, essentially. Yeah, so I've looked up a couple of things, as I like to do with Katanagatari, upon finishing an episode. I think I'll start over here if I can get a good screen region for it. Yeah, that there'll do. Hello, Tensho, also known as Motoki Tanaka. Sure. If we scroll down here a little bit, we'll see Staff in Katanagatari, Episode 7, Episode 7, Episode 7, Episode 7. Very, very responsible. If you know anything about anime production, director, storyboarder, animation director, and key animation. Huge part in this episode. Probably the most relevant person to look at, considering I can't see that much other weird stuff. Like the scripts made by the same person. There's not much else there to look at besides this. Because yeah, I left yesterday. I was a little bit stumped. The episode, it eluded me somewhat. It was just weird. It was a bit of a weird one. And I think I've come to see a few things. So, Staff in under this name, you don't really get a lot. It's a lot of key animation and blah 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 blah. There's some cool stuff here, but not like a ton. Like, more than anything, it's just showing that, oh yeah, this person has worked before and continues to work. Cool. Awesome. Let's scroll up here to the work as Tensho, which is the alias. Now, this is a little bit more interesting. This we can make a narrative, right? Okay, let's go. So, Azur Lane. If you don't know what this is, one of the most popular gacha games in the world, the way I understand it. It's fucking huge. This had an anime adaptation. He did it. Sure. Cool. Girls. Lots of girls. Black Rock Shooter. Girls. Like a lot of girls. Like a lot. Grasaya. I think it's a harem. Girls. There's a lot of girls. Kinero Mosaic, which is the only show here that I've really even seen that much of. I thought it was fine. Girls. There's girls in that show. They're a little bit younger, but they're still girls. Down here, Rewrite. Girls. Preamble. Girls. Grasaya again. Girls. You get the point. Lots and lots of girls. Lots and lots of cute girl stuff. Not quite cute girl, cute thing type stuff. A little bit more, you know, that way inclined. But still, there's a line here, right? And we can kind of follow it through. Think about some of those pieces of animation on Togame, right? Where she's like doing all the moves and it's all very funny. Like she sticks out her bum, and that's it's like a funny joke part. I couldn't help but be reminded of a show similar to the shows presented here. I think the nail in the coffin here is this ED for Gochi Uso, right? Which, I mean, I guess I could get up a few examples of it. So, I mean, I'm not going to show too much, but you kind of get the deal. It's I mean, girls looking at the screen, some rotation, a little bit more cute girl stuff, a lot of looking at the screen, which again is a prevalent thing in this Katanagatari episode. This dance sequence here, you can see it, right? I'm not being like a crazy person. I think you can see a pretty clear line here to this directorial style. Think about the art style changes, really thick line work, like some weird video game side tangent stuff. Like it all stinks of a show that's a little bit more frivolous, I guess. Where Katanagatari isn't, and this was an important episode for Katanagatari. So like it strikes me as an interesting decision. It strikes me as almost like imagine it comes to like episode 10 of Madoka or something, right? Big episode if you guys don't know. Big episode. And instead of using the team that they had been using, they elected to grab the person that directed, I don't know, what's a cute girl show? Yuri. The person that directed Yuri, sure. It's like, yeah, this is a great director. I'm just not sure it's meshing with the source material all that much. It strikes me as very, very interesting. The other connection being, of course, I believe the show's made by White Fox, and Katanagatari made by White Fox, so sure. I'm sure there's some other connections here on this page too. Either way, I should stop rambling, but now I've got a little bit more of at least a reason why the episode was produced the way it was. And again, this isn't criticism, I don't think. I would prefer it to be interesting rather than boring, and it most certainly is interesting, I'll give you that. The other one is I did a couple of translations here, so Destitute the Vile is what Wikipedia is calling this episode. I dug a little bit deeper into the kanji. I've got the kanji for, what is this, Akuto? Yeah, Akuto. So I'm imagining that the first part of the kanji, or the second part of the kanji means sword. I've got that. Hang on, I'll just show you guys. I don't know why I ever take this thing down. There you go. So this is the sword part, right? Cool. The first kanji here means bad, vice, interesting, like a drug, rascal, false, evil, wrong. Any of these could be applied, I think, to the situation at hand. The other one here is bita, right? Which I've got less for. This website says that it means a very small amount of money, penny, cent, nickel, dime. I don't know where that adds into anything, but sure, we'll keep it in mind. This one here, which is, I mean, just Wikipedia again, it says maybe it's a part of a samurai helmet which covers the back of the neck. I just don't see where destitute or vile comes into this, I guess. I don't know. It's weirding me out a little bit. And then I got my last point here, a little bit of Shikoku action. This is where the episode takes place in Tosa. Not a lot of geography to this episode, really, not a lot of moving around. I guess it's interesting that we're going to make our way finally to Owari after all. So that's going to be next episode. There's going to be Princess Haite content. Hello, Hamamatsu, sure. So yeah, look forward to that then. I still think that, you know, this kind of geography stuff's pretty interesting, even if it isn't applied this episode all that well. And now we're into the episode proper. We start on this, again, Spindy Doodle. We've talked about these before. Indicative of death. Small stack of rocks, indicative of death. There was death here. That's what I think the visual language is trying to get across, if, you know, the dead trees want a dead giveaway. This is Shiraizen in Mutsu. This is the previously alluded to fight with Nanami beating these guys in half an hour. Like, just absolutely destroying them, right? This is a pretty cool shot, zooming right in, and we see a few character design quirks. Again, I've talked about the line work, but just in general, I think the features are a little bit more cutesy. It's all a little bit, you know, sharper. There's definitely, yeah, it's distinct for sure. It even confused me at one point. I thought the voice actors had changed as well, which just fucking they hadn't, by the way. I was just on meth, but you know, it is what it is. The episode starts with Nanami lamenting this weapon, that being Akuto Bita. Like, you're being praised as a deity, you poor thing, almost like me. In a place like this, is this truly what a sword wants, right? Because again, you're part of the Kyotoru lineage, you're technically a sword as well, and swords can't use swords, keep it in mind for the end of the episode. And seeing this sword put on a pedestal, and thinking about how she was put on a pedestal during various moments through her own life, and maybe reflecting upon that. I don't know. There's lots of ways you could take it. She eviscerates the structure holding it and grabs a hold of Akuto Bito. And there's a lot of this. So she said, oh, it's nice and light and helpful and stuff. That's good. Or maybe it's bad. And then she does like a creepy face. It's a lot of contradiction, right? And falling into a villainous mindset. And Nishio-sen's playing with that slightly. Like, oh, am I evil? Or is this good? Do I perceive myself as evil or do I perceive myself as good? It's unclear right now. And then we get to this sequence, right? So she looks at the sword, goes, this'll do nicely, goes to put it away. Some guy grabs at her ankle and is almost looking to even warn her, right, about using it. She only looks down and sees weeds to be crushed. She mentions later in the episode that weeding is one of her favorite hobbies. Think about that in context with a lot of the flower imagery that we've had with the Kyotoru family up to this point. Like, I see everybody else as beneath me. I don't register them as, you know, flowers, which are superior. We're going to pick away the weeds and keep the flowers. What separates us swords and this person, the humans? Is it emotions? Is it something else in between? Just some food for thought, I guess. And then, yeah, we don't see, you know, the blood. Well, I mean, we do. But she perceives it as crushing weeds. We see it as her, you know, crushing his head. Nanami then says she's going to go off and hide in some obvious place to, you know, Shichika and Ko will find her, and then there'll be a conflict. She'll get to see how much Shichika has grown, if he has grown at all, during this time. And then straight into that, we have a very cartoonish sequence, right? Where... So, okay, this should be haunting, this should be terrible, this should be framed differently, but it's not. It's framed like a comedy. It's framed like a cute girl show. It's interesting. It's very interesting. I'm not sure I'm vibing with it. I guess I should explain what's happening. Her father and her mother are both, like, kind of haunting her. I guess this involves the curse of Akuto Bita as well, just kind of manifesting here. Taking these feelings from the father of, you know, refusing to train her and considering her a monster, and these feelings of the mother of intense sympathy for her and thinking that, why doesn't she just die because it would be an easier way out for her? Why does her suffering need to continue? And like brushing these things away like it's nothing. Like she almost sees it as frivolous, as cartoonish, right? And she wipes these feelings away and continues to murder with, reckless abandon. I think it works. I think, yeah, because this is Nanami's perception of what is a very intense, important thing happening to her, but again, I'm a sword, no emotion, blah, 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 blah. Brush them away very easily and continue on my merry way and my plan. Yeah, in this scene, we have the mother lamenting that she can neither live nor die, right? She can't live, the way she's supposed to, considering how different she is, right? But she can't die because of her condition as well, right? It puts her separate to, I guess, the human experience and everything else in between, resulting in maybe this frivolous, opinion of it and slaughtering with glee, I guess. Part of the reason probably why she was isolated as well. Yeah, she merely just tells them to disappear and they disappear, bursting into the sky into a million pieces. Cool. I guess it was frivolous after all. Like, she's being haunted, and these feelings of being haunted are already affirmed inside herself. She already knows this. So you guys telling her this doesn't mean anything. It cannot affect me. Now we're at the temple, right? The temple that she just slaughtered everybody at. Very cool. And we're just kind of right into it. It's like, oh yeah, this is normally reserved for this part of the episode. I don't know well, we're doing it now, but we're doing it now. We're right into the battle. This exists as somewhat of a time skip in the episode, right? Which we go back and rectify at a certain point in the episode. Weird. Very weird. But it's not the only thing in this episode that's weird. So yeah, we see Amon Zaimon. We later learn that, he's been... Princess Haite basically told him to go and trail them and see what the go is, right? But it was less about them and more about her. Like, he had originally been told to go to... the temple where she just slaughtered all those people in the opening scene, saw how bad it was, and it's like, shit, well, now I better keep, tabs on her rather than, anything else in between, because she seems more important than, these two jokers, even as much as Princess Haite doesn't seem to like Togame very much. But you kind of put the pieces together. You saw him on the boat. We knew that we were going this way. We knew that we were going to that temple. You just kind of put it together in your head. It's fine. Yeah, and Togame kind of realizes that he's not here for them, he's here for her, right? Because it's like, okay, your job was to show us here, right? Why haven't you gone somewhere else then? Why your job's done, we've been shown here. Now, the real job was to keep tabs on Nanami, right? Amon Zaimon ends that conversation by saying, it's very important for me to see the swords up close, right? Implying that it could be either sword that is fighting right now, right? Then we have Shichika. Shichika says, why do we have to fight? This is the first indicator that you've changed, right? That you're different from the rest of your family, that you're different from Nanami, right? That there's been some kind of growth there over the past few episodes, that you have grown a little bit more of a spine and a little bit more of a taste and making your own decisions and a code of ethics and all these other things. This is the first indicator. They continue to chat here. Shichika continues to try to find a way out of the fight, even, sweating a little bit when Nanami says to kill her, right? To kill? Am I really going to kill my sister here? And Nanami lamenting the fact that Shichika has softened up. Nanami had worried this would happen from the start. Shichika softening up as he, enters the outside world. Who is responsible for this? We go through a bunch of names, but we land on Togame. So I guess we have to view this episode or rewatch it with the knowledge of the ending, right? That Nanami's entire goal here is to die. She wants to die, right? She had been kind of exiled on this island with no way to die, if that makes any sense. She can't just, drown herself or jump off, and her body won't let her, right? Like, so now that she's in the outside world, she's got some pieces together, right? That being pieces from that whole Itazora clan, right? The one that Koneyuki was a part of. The pieces from this other sword, this Akoto, Akoto Bita, that sounds right. And a few other things, right? The powers of the money, right? Of the three guys that came to the island. She's diluting her body's pure power, right? Which is to not let her die, which is essentially immortality. She's diluting that to the point where she is actually killable. In such a way, she is sharpening Shichika to be able to make that final blow and trusts him as the one to do it, right? So when she's saying there's no reason why we shouldn't fight, it should be prefaced with the fact that, hey, she wants them to fight for a specific reason. She's not saying any other major stuff, right? It's her kind of tricking Shichika in this way. Again, I thought you were Blade Shichika. I went and got one of Shikizaki Kiki's swords, right? I went and got Akuto Bita. I thought you would have to fight me now. If you wanted this sword, if you want to accomplish your goal as a sword, as being purely subservient to Togame, right? Then you need to defeat me if you want to accomplish your goals, right? This should be reason enough for us to be fighting right now. There's no reason why we shouldn't be. There's no familial reason. There's no emotional attachment. We're just separating all of that right now and fight me, basically. Again, ulterior motives. But kind of makes sense as well, because Shichika's been out and about, like in the real world, for long enough to see that this isn't the be-all end-all anymore, and there's actually more to life than just being a sword, and kind of growing your own personality out of that. Either way, Nanami finally convinces Shichika to strike, right? And he's kind of not hitting anything, he's kind of terrible. He's just missing. And Nanami's very calm whilst dodging, right? She's like, let me teach you something, Shichika, right? Doesn't matter how strong you've gotten, because I've got these eyes, right? When faced with these eyes of mine, your strength becomes mine. I basically steal your stuff. I steal your talent, I steal your moves. You have to present something that I haven't seen before, and something that I can't see as well, to be able to defeat me, right? We've seen such a power shown, right? It was during episode 4. It was almost framed horror movie-esque, right? Where she was growing stronger as she defeated each person there, right? Each of the money. Shichika finally goes in for his special super move, right? Which uses all of his different techniques in kind of combo with each other. And Nanami's like, oh, you still haven't learned anything, right? And kicks him up into the ceiling. And this is weird for multiple reasons, right? One, I thought this technique was his most powerful technique, but us, the audience, know that there's a problem with it because Nanami said as much to the camera. Two, hey, isn't your one fatal flaw that you're really weak? Like, really, really weak? How did you throw me? I thought you could learn anything, but you didn't have the power behind it because, you know, you're weak, you're frail, you're fragile. And then we put 2 and 2 together, right? So she must have seen the Itazora clan fighting, right? At some point. And copied their technique. I'm now as strong as they were, right? This is some great power scaling stuff. We had Shichika, the most powerful person in Japan, come up against a little girl of the Itazora clan, right, Koniyuki, who gave him a bath, who destroyed him, right, who defeated him. She wasn't even a warrior, she wasn't even a fighter, right? She said she's the worst fighter in her entire clan, and then Nanami rolls along and beats that entire clan. There's levels to this, right? And Nanami is demonstrating her level to be way above Shichika's. Another great scene here, right? So Shichika, upon learning about the destruction of the Itazora clan by the hand of Nanami, starts like pleading with her. Why did you have to do that? Why'd you have to do that on Mount Idori? Why'd you have to do that at Shiraizen? Why'd you have to do that where we are now? You say rather strange things these days, Shichika. You truly have been blunted by this experience you've had with Togame, right? You no longer have that razor edge, right, that you were taught to have from a young age based on your family. Like, I don't remember you having a code of ethics or feelings or morality or anything else, right? Why now? Why now? What changed? And again, we're running with the weeding metaphor for it all, right? They're not flowers like us. They're merely weeds. I'm just getting them out of the way. When did you start to think differently? Nanami starts talking about Togame, about, you know, I guess disapproving of her methods with Shichika up to this point. Togame rebuts with, I use my sword how I want to use my sword. Nanami here begins to talk about the weakness of the special attack, Shich's something, Hachiretsu. This is when Nanami's really putting her foot on the gas. You're no longer fit to fight against me, right? As you are now, you don't have the right. You didn't even realize this fatal flaw in your technique. I came here to tell you that, but upon seeing how you are now and how weak you've become, I'm no longer going to say such a thing. I'm going to leave it to Togami, essentially, right? And again, interesting in context. She wants him to lack morality right now because she wants to die. Please kill me. If you have some kind of moral track, then you're no longer going to work as part of my plan to die, essentially. This is when Shichika falls to the ground after being defeated very easily by Nanami, using only her finger, only her pinky finger at that. And get this, I used the Nimpo Ashigaru, right, which is the one that manipulates gravity and force and a bunch of stuff, right? I manipulated it so that my strikes wouldn't kill you. I, in fact, could have killed you 272 times before you hit the ground. It's almost cartoonishly over the top, but I think it works as a stat there. So I guess I got that wrong. The toughness of her body didn't come from the Itazora stuff, right? The toughness of her body came from the regenerative capabilities of Akutobita, right? This thing is constantly regenerating her own body. And look, it looks very nice. It looks very, like it's doing very good things for the body. It doesn't look evil at all. I guess in retrospect now, like, we're framing Nanami as this very villainous character, when in reality, she's not all that villainous. She has a, quirks and her understanding of things that have obviously been warped by her experience on Earth up to this point in that body. But I don't think evil anymore. I still don't really understand how Akito Bita and that translation goes into I'm gonna regenerate my body. I guess it's just like evil, and an evil thing would do that. It definitely looks evil. Vile even. But yeah, nothing else that's like a direct connection, I wouldn't say, like some of the other swords have had. Either way, she shits on Shichika's life. Like, hey, you're shit. Come back and actually face me when you're strong enough to do so. And then, art style change. We're on the water. It's a side view thing. And then there's an extended part where it's a visual novel pastiche. And then there's an extended other part where there was the video game stuff earlier as well. No, that's later. You know what I'm talking about. There's just a bunch of weird shit in this episode. It just takes a mad tonal shift here, for sure. We're basically filling the backstory. This is the weird structural stuff, right? So we've had our middle part of our story already. Now we get the build up to why it actually occurred. So we make our way to Torsa. There's a video game-esque notification on top of Togame. And we start to talk to Amon Simon. With this stuff, right? They're in very like visual novel poses. Like, look at him; he's serving right now. It's just great. I actually really like this sequence. Again, out of nowhere, weird as shit, but I do like it. This pose here on Shichika as well, very reminiscent. And then like the small expression changes from Togame, like that one, that's very Phoenix Wright even. Get this top-down video game version of the scene we saw earlier where Nanami went through and killed all the guards. I specifically like this part where we have this boss person that presumably wasn't in the scene, and she hides in a very exploity spot away from the attack pattern and destroys. Kind of invoking the fact that she's cheating in a lot of ways, which, again, she is. So I believe this is in the past as well. This is Amon Simon reporting to Princess Haite, right? This is the first time we've seen Princess Haite stand up. I kind of thought that she was younger. Nope, she's very much not. And we cut between these segments a lot, right? So there's Amon Simon talking to Princess Haite, right? I'm still unsure on the timeline on this conversation, right? But then we cut immediately to, like, just as we're explaining how strong Nanami is, we get a perspective from the Maniwa Corps, right? We have Penguin here with Ho-Ho, and they're discussing how strong Nanami is. It's basically like all the characters in the show so far, at different locations, are discussing how strong Nanami is, right? It's almost like Kyotoru, or Shichika's status, I can't use that name anymore, is being superseded as the strongest in Japan as of right now. Like, the rumor is spreading. And again, that's a huge part of Shichika's internal stuff. That's why he goes through the malaise that he goes through in the kind of middle part of this episode. We also learn here that Nanami got Akito Bita after defeating Itazora, which is, again, just more power scaling stuff. She had her one weakness intact while still defeating the strongest clan in the show. Princess Haite asks if Shichika has any chance of beating her. None. No chance. Yeah, again, what do we invoke? It feels, again, very video gamey, this side-on shot, the walking stuff. Weird. It's weird. I know I keep saying it, but it's true. Either way, these two are just concluding their conversation by saying, hey, maybe if Nanami isn't defeated here, then she may pose an even bigger problem than the other two, basically, right? We may need to get another plan in place just for her. Another really good part here by Amon Simon where he's like, if I had to fight her, I would run, and if running wasn't an option, then I would run for enough time for you to escape, princess. It's like, oh, correct answer, you did well. You would have to think where kind of the subservience of Amon Simon is being kind of compared to the subservience of Shichika to Togame, right? Considering the rivalry that Haite and Togame also have. So, I don't know, that's another plot line for another episode, maybe even next week. We end the sequence of kind of the conversations about Nanami and Chichika and their upcoming battle, right, by cutting to just this scene with Nanami, right, where she's asked if she would like some food. She replies, not right now. My body basically can account for me not having food, so I don't need it. At least not now. Hand on heart, looks up to the moon, right, and like lamenting the fact that she's even alive at this point, and maybe even thinking, hey, was I too harsh on him? Was I pushing him too hard in one direction? I truly do want what I want out of this, which is death, but is this the right way to go about it? There's a little bit of hesitance here, I feel, right? She's definitely acting in the previous scenes. And these lines here are very similar to the opening lines, where now we have Yasuri Nanami enshrined here, right? She's now the object of worship of this shrine. Should a sword be an object of worship like that? Is that the correct thing? But we're still saying she's holy-like. She definitely fits the billing of something that is beyond our comprehension. There's also the metaphor, of course, of the corpses laying strewn on the ground and the crows picking at them, right? It's a bad omen. This doesn't seem good. However, in the end, we just have Shichika moping, right? How could I ever think that I would win against Nechan, right? I see this as an extension of the last episode, where he was a little bit down in the dumps after getting defeated by Koniyuki. So, like, why did I ever think I could beat her? I couldn't even beat Koniyuki, blah, 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 blah. He's moping right now, and he needs Togame to come in and snap him out of it. So, way back in the day, I couldn't defeat her. She's only gotten exponentially stronger since then, and still can't defeat her. We then come back to a, frankly, very, I guess, cordial scene between Togame and Nanami, right? Togame asks, are we sure there isn't any way that we can get out of this with you not dying and siblings not fighting and us getting the sword? And this is when Nanami starts to go off about how we've dulled him, right? We being Togame, right? And yeah, we end that conversation there by saying there's no reason to not do a duel, so we might as well do a duel. I think this is adding to a lot of the positive, negative stuff we have metaphorically in the episode, where it's like, is this good, is this bad, or is it just is, right? Does it just be? But of course, in the back of our minds now, we know, again, Nanami's ultimate objective here. She holds the sword for a reason. The rules of the sword and the rules of their contract dictate that we must kill this person if they refuse to give us the sword. So why don't you guys do that? Seems like a surefire way for me to get killed. Either way, this confrontation frustrated Togame. We get a little bit of first-person stuff here, which is quite cute. First-person Cheerio action. And basically, Togame's going to re-educate him here, right? We're going to teach him how to be a sword again. We're going to sharpen him up. We're going to, plug a hole in his technique, and we're going to come up with a scheme to defeat Nanami. I love the hair touch here, especially when the hair gets cut off later. Togame asked the question here of Shichika, why did you hide the fact that Nanami was stronger? Because I wanted to be your sword. Isn't that sweet, right? If you knew that she was stronger, you would probably take her, right? So that's why I kept it a secret. It also probably adds to why he's so gung-ho about, getting off the island and achieving his own stuff. And, even if in the back of my mind, there's alarm bells ringing about Togame's motivations here, right? And what I'm actually going to have to do. At the end of the day, this is my ticket out of here, and this is my ticket to prove myself away from her. So I took it. And a little blush from Togame as well, to boot, which is nice. And then we get a little bit of an inspirational speech, which perks him up. Basically, I've been defeated before. I've taken many L's. You've only taken one, and you're moping like this? If I was like you, I never would have gotten anywhere. And then she slaps him for good measure, and I think this is the thing that finally snaps him out of it. As well as the face plant, of course, that helps for sure. That conversation, of course, ending with the question of, will you actually rematch her? Shichika says yes, and we're finally able to move into the weakness of the technique, and I guess working on our little scheme. So first, the weakness in the technique. Essentially, Shichika Hachiretsu, it's a hybrid technique which releases 7 techniques at once, right? 7 different techniques of the Kyotoru style. We've kind of mishmashed these techniques together in basically whatever order, and we're kind of strong enough to just get away with it. In reality, there's a problem with one specific technique. The problem is Ryu Ryoku Kako. Sure, it's in the way, and we get this cute piece of animation here. Like that. Wait, no, hang on. There's another one. That one. Stick it down her butt, right? This is the closest thing that I can link to the director's other work. Stuff like this. The animation on it, the cute character stuff, the framing, the comedic tone to it all. Like, I can connect this to the other shows I mentioned earlier, I guess. Essentially, this move pierces the armor. It's definitely powerful, but the movement you have to undergo to perform it is a large defensive hole. It basically leaves you open for a counter, which is basically what Nanami used early in the episode to throw him into the ceiling. So I think at the start of the segment about girls, this is where it's kind of coming through, right? Again, cute girl stuff. If you want cute girl stuff, get this director, right? Lots of poses. It's all about poses, right? We don't get to hear it at this point, but we've also got something that's going to stop her little eye technique as well from ruining everything. But in the meantime, we're going to have to find a combo move that actually works like a combo move where the 6 remaining moves of the 7 are put together in an order which actually makes sense. And again, really cute scene here, right, where Togame tries to put on a little bit of the tsundere thing and be in control and stuff, and is immediately, I guess, snapped out of it by Shichika's earnestness, I guess. Togame leaves the room, but still ponders why Nanami is doing this in such a roundabout way, I guess. Why is she forcing the brother she doted on into a duel he can't win? Why? Why is she doing such a thing? Again, we know your motives. You want to die. And this seems like the best way to do it, right? Against the strongest swordsman in Japan, even if he is just my brother. Hurry up and come kill me like you killed father. Another interesting line, like, what does this imply now about father's death? Was it mutual? Was it something that he wanted to happen? I don't know. Because we're kind of invoking it in a way that's like, oh, murdering each other's in the family, right? Especially with the bombshell about the father potentially, or at least being accused of murdering the mother. Like, it must be in the family, right? But in reality, it's a mercy killing. It's a killing of love. I love the fact that we need, 720 different combinations of 6 moves to figure out what the best one is, and he finally comes to that conclusion upon completing the 720th. Like, is he that bad? Did it take him that long to get to an actual good technique, or did he just want to try them all out? I don't know. We see here the servants remaining of the temple, getting together the candles which Togame has requested. Togame then meets again with Nanami, tells them that, hey, the duel's on, essentially. She, again, is very accepting of that and says, yeah, sure, we'll do that. Again, now we know motive, it makes a lot of sense. And her whole thing is very interesting, right? Because her body doesn't let her die, in so much as we need a technique that's going to take my eye. She's almost tricking her body into dying, right? Like, I need my technique not to activate, so I need, Togame to figure that out. And I also need, I'm knowledgeable of the huge weakness in the Hachiretsu or whatever the hell. Like, because I'm knowledgeable of that, my body will react in a way that I'm going to counter it. I need something that I don't expect. And I've diluted my skill through all these other things that I've gathered. It makes a lot of sense in retrospect what she's doing here. This is when we get the bombshell, or at least Togame learns the bombshell about, the accusations of the father, where I'm thinking that this may also be foreshadowing about, the eventual Togame and Shichika thing, right? Especially with the ending lines of the episode about them now being family. Doesn't everybody in this family now kill each other? I don't know. Is there something to that? I don't know. I guess in that way, Nanami is like leveraging the fact that there's death within the family and death between family members to her own advantage, considering she wants to die. Again, it's being framed like she's some crazy villain in all this, but in reality, this is just a fancy suicide attempt. Again, tricking her own body. And again, like the monologuing, but it's fake monologuing. No matter what plan you come up with, it won't get past my eyes. Well, you're setting yourself up as a villain to fail here. There's also some stuff being implied already about a sword using a sword. Again, we see that as Shichika being cheeky, but it actually does come back. Like, it's almost like her family nature coming back to bite her, right? That this whole swordless sword clan idea. It supersedes whatever other supernatural thing is going on. And it turns out I can't escape my family, even in so much as my own body's construction. Like, even my supernatural power can't escape the fact that, hey, I'm the swordless sword user, I don't use swords. Again, either way is good, either way is bad, we don't really mind, as long as I die. It's bad because I'm dying, but it's good because I'm dying. You know? And we're no longer having the fight in whatever hall we were before, we're now going to do it in the presence of the Buddha of Swords, right? With a huge dance sequence to go along with it that Togame does. Which, again, cute stuff. Pose stuff. With the yaw to go along with it as well. And yeah, we may speed through this final conflict a little bit considering how much I've talked about it up to now. But yeah, essentially what I've explained up to now takes place. Interestingly enough, Shichika still in this final moment says, "Is there any way we can avoid this?" And then goes into a fighting stance after being rebuked. There's no other way around it. We need to stand our ground and fight her. Nanami even bringing up here at this point that she wouldn't have minded even if her father killed her. Doesn't matter that it was either her father or Shichika here and now. Just need to make sure that somebody kills me. We asked Togame to start the fight. There's a little bit of fun lampshading there between Nanami and Togame as well, saying, "Hey, does your plan involve some timing here?" It's like, don't be silly. Fine, we'll get this fight on with, right? As she's counting down in her head for the correct timing. Where we hit 1, at that exact moment, we swing the hand down, the fight begins, and all the candles in the room go out. This is the way we're getting around the whole eye conundrum. We're going to shut her eyes for you, we're going to find her in the darkness, and her eyes won't be able to activate. With this, we had 300 candles that must burn out at the exact same moment. Perfectly well done. Good scheme there, Strategian. So the first thing that Shichika needs to hit her with is the thing that pierces the armor, the technique that he can't use in the combo because it's too cumbersome. If he can complete that part, Shichika's hybrid will now work. Shichika Hachiretsu Kai! It's an improvement on the previous one, and now we're going to execute. And yeah, we did hit her. So it did something. It knocked her out for a bit. At least enough for us to be able to retrieve the sword, right? The sword that is regenerating her body even now. Right? Take that out. Now she's even weaker. Now she's probably killable. She may have even let Shichika do this in this moment. So essentially this is the worst of both worlds for Nanami. Like, they got the sword. They no longer have a tangible reason to fight her. They're no longer forced to do so. And I'm still not dead. So, like, my plan basically failed. I was too naive. Again, the grand irony of this is all the talk about Shichika dulling his blade. She's been doing the exact same thing here in the service of dying, and in the process sharpening him so he can deal the final blow. We have Togame screaming here, "There's no reason for you to fight, we've got the sword now." And here's how we get another reason to fight. So, Nanami sent some sort of cut, don't really know what. It was a cut that cut her hair into a perfect new hairstyle, sure, I rate it, but it's also a reason for them to fight, right? Again, Shichika's whole thing is he protects Togame. That's one of the major tenets of their relationship. So now this is being challenged again, and now they have another tangible reason to fight. Again, make it make sense. That's what she has to do. Of course, there's the whole connection that Shichika has with Togame's hair as well, which is backing this up as well. It's basically the perfect thing she could have done at this point. A threat to Togame's life that also takes out something that Shichika cares about. The fire on the hair is a good final touch as well. This action forces Shichika into action, where he now, like, says his catchphrase, looks her in the eye, her death is coming, and he finally gets to go all out. The temple starts to burn. There's even the Buddha moving a little bit, moving his eyes to look at them, I believe. And then we get an emotional goodbye after that awesome action scene, right? That played out through here. Emotional goodbye time now. He finally hits her with the Kai right through the middle of the body, and her body finally starts to wither. We also get the metaphor of the flowers, not the flowers, the petals coming off the flower as well. Like, it's finally all being stripped away, I'm finally dying. I've been copying others' techniques just to become a little bit weaker in order to live just a little longer. However, this is what happens when a sword tries to use a sword. So again, she's dulling her own technique by going and getting these other things, but is she doing that consciously, or is this her own body trying to get stronger, and then this is almost like a trick thing? Or like a reversal, or an irony to it? Either way, sword, don't use other sword. You can't escape your family's name, even if you want to, even if you were rejected by it. And in the end, death occurs. In the end, I really am a Kyotoru, right? Isn't that weird, father, right? The father that didn't allow me to learn the technique, that called me a monster. I really am like him after all. Well, inherited some stuff from the family anyway. And yeah, good job killing me. That's what I wanted, essentially, right? I see this as potentially foreshadowing for the last conflict as well. Kyotoru can absolutely not use swords. And again, I'll talk about the "this is really good, this is really bad" line that keeps getting repeated. So I think this represents the conflict within her own body. One part of it wanting to die, and one part of it basically refusing to do so, right? So one of these things, him trying to kill me, could be really good or really bad. This thing that I'm getting, Akitobita, it could be really good or it could be really bad. Like, Now it's got a lot more depth to it, I think. I think that works a lot for Nanami's character. And then basically we had some epilogue stuff where Togame explains what actually happened. She simply wanted to be killed. That was the reason why she did all of this. Again, contrast, contradiction, weak body, amazing combat power. Getting this sword in the service of, patching up one of your weaknesses, but in the end it serves as the one weakness that actually led to your death. Irony there. Right, two sides. Very, very cool stuff. I actually really like that. Ending another episode eating dango as well, based. Also the dango being representative of, remember, the similar songs even playing. At the end of episode 4, we eat dango and this song plays and we do epilogue stuff. Links to Nanami. I think that makes sense. I didn't want to kill Nei-chan. I didn't want to kill Dad either. I wonder if Nei-chan also wanted to be killed by Dad. Didn't she say as much, or maybe that was in her own head? And we end that scene there, right? I'm sure Nanami loved your father as much as you did. Even so, I. And then we cut. Weird. Weird. We really need to dive into what actually happened there. I think that'll be very interesting. We end with a hair fetish pervert thing where he gets to touch the hair and he likes it. And of course, ending with this family thing that I've talked about at some level already. I don't think this bodes well for the two of your relationships, considering what's happened to the rest of Shichika's family. Again, a sword. Maybe there's something there about people getting too close to a sword and ending up dead. And the episode was something embarrassing or something, and she says cheerio. Moving into that unique ED, and of course with the setup about going to Owari and Princess Haite and that to come. And here's some lyrics. Come to me, tan tan tan. I'll show you the right way. I'll show you right away. Excuse me, I cannot read. Here, tan tan tan, intensively, I'll give you back everything. I don't know what tan 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 is, but it sounds pretty based. Before long, ton 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 will reach the open tragedy. Finally, quietly, at long last, to the next world. Okay, is this like tan 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 ton 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 talking to my brother, like sister cute talk stuff? Maybe. Darkness comes untied, black night flows. Don't look the lost body, darkness continues at the black night dreamily. Or dreamingly? Sure. Bit of an adverb there, oh my god. Yeah, this is like, it sounds like Thingo. It sounds like the voice actress. Let me check. It most certainly is. So again, character song from Nanami's perspective. In my last moment, I was watching someone. Yeah, basically a longing goodbye, tearful thing to Shichika, right? I'm passing away into death, but, that's what I wanted to happen regardless. Probably something in this post-credit scene alluding to that as well. With me being cognizant of me eating this watermelon, maybe this is the next life. It's my kind of heaven. Shichika hasn't quite made it here yet, but I'm here, right? Back on the island, with the bugs, we're younger, we're just kind of vibing. Yeah, waiting for, him to join her in the next life. There's no ill feelings here, really. I don't know. I feel really good about this relationship, which I wouldn't have said at the start of the episode. And then, next time on. So yeah, another intensely interesting Katanagatari episode. I think I loved it again. Very, very weird production, which I've gone over a ton of times. First-person shots, video game references, like a ton of them. The visual novel segment. There's like weird timing and pacing of things. There's a really weird like chronology to the story and how it's told. A real focus on female poses and like POV shots and first person like straight on camera stuff. Thick line work. Lots of stuff that differentiates this episode. I think it all works. I think it all comes together. It definitely fits this weird tone for this weird episode. This contradictory episode has a contradictory style to it. Yeah, again, really loving the show. It's so interesting. It really, really is. And yeah, back, not next week, but the week after. It'll be in the new year, I think, is when I do Katanagatari again. We'll see. Maybe it is New Year's proper. Anyway, if only there was a calendar nearby. Yeah, in the new year. It'll be the 1st of January is when I'll be recording that. Cool. Very, very cool. But yeah, Katanagatari continues to be based, just some chill stuff. So if you like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and you want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything I could do to improve my presentation. Comment below. I'm doing follow for follow on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter if you'd like me to follow you back. And the Discord, join Discord. Love Discord. And yeah, again, We'll be back not next week, but the week after for more Katanagatari goodness. Just signing off. Cheerio and stuff. Goodbye. Have a Merry Christmas and stuff.